those in intensive care, and those who posed security risks. I liked the infirmary because of the strong lighting, which lent some vibrancy to my otherwise dreary confinement. I liked helping people, too. It reminded me that I was still human, that I still had a purpose. And I liked it because I didn't have to watch my back in here. I disliked everything else about it. The smell, for one. A putrid cocktail of body odor and urine and powerful disinfectant that always seized me when I first walked in. And let's face it, nobody who comes to the infirmary is having a good day. I try to have good days. I try very hard. It was busy when I walked in, the beds at full capacity, the one doctor, 2 nurses, and 4 inmates who served as nurses' assistants, scurrying from one patient to the next, putting figurative band-aids on gaping wounds. There had been a flu going around, and at JRF, when one person got the flu, the whole cell block got it. They tried to segregate the sick ones, but it was like rearranging chairs in a closet. There just wasn't room. JRF, l'Institution de Justice et Réforme pour les Femmes, operated at more than 150% capacity. Cells designed for 4 held 7, the extra 3 people sleeping on mattresses on the floor. A prison intended for 1,200 was housing almost 2,000. They were packing us in shoulder to shoulder and telling us to cover our mouths when we coughed. I saw Winnie at the far end, wrapping a bandage on an Arab woman's foot. Winnie, like me, was a nurse's assistant. The warden ordered that we not communicate, so we were assigned to different cell blocks and different shifts in the infirmary. I felt a catch in my throat, as I did every time I saw her now. Winnie has been my closest friend since my husband and I moved to Bern, Switzerland for his job at the American Embassy. We lived next door to each other for 5 years, mourning the late working hours of our diplomat husbands and sharing each other's secrets. Well, not all our secrets, it turned out, but I've forgiven her. "Hey," she whispered in her lovely British accent. Her fingers touched mine. "I heard what happened. You okay?" "Living the dream," I said. "You?" She wasn't in the mood for humor. Winnie was a stunning beauty, tall and shapely with large, radiant eyes, chiseled cheekbones, and silky, ink-colored hair, which made it all the harder to see the wear around those eyes, the stoop in her posture, the subtle deterioration of her spirit. It had been just over a year since the murders, and 3 months since the conviction. She was starting to break down, to give in. They talked in here about the moment when that happened, when you lost all hope. La reddition, they called it. Surrender. I hadn't experienced it yet. I hoped I never would. "Movie night," she whispered. "I'll save you a seat. Love you." "Love you too. Get some rest." Our fingertips released. Her shift was over. About 90 minutes later, I heard the commotion as the hydraulic door buzzed open. I had my back turned to the entrance. I was helping a nurse dress a laceration on an inmate's ribcage when one of the nurses shouted, "Urgence!" Emergency. We had a lot of those. We had a suicide a week in JRF. Violence and sanitation-related illnesses had been on the upswing with the worsening overcrowding. It was impossible to work a 6-hour shift without hearing urgence called at least once. Still, I turned as guards and a nurse wheeled in an inmate on a gurney. Oh, God, no. I dropped the gauze pads I was holding. I started running before the realization had fully formed in my head. The shock of black hair hanging below the gurney. The look on the face of one of the nurses, who had turned back from the commotion to look at me, to see if it had registered with me who the new patient was. Everyone knew the 4 of us as a group, after all. "Winnie," I whispered. 2. "No. Please. No." I sharply parted the people around me, bouncing off them like a pinball, rushing to Winnie. 2 guards saw me coming and moved forward to restrain me as the doctor and 2 nurses hovered over Winnie, working feverishly. "Let me see her. Let me. Permettez-moi." All I could see between the 2 guards containing me was the back of a nurse and the lifeless body of my best friend. The doctor was speaking quickly, too quickly for me to understand.